It's the most peaceful place in the world is a forest. Early in the morning or late in the evening, when the sun comes up or goes down. That's a part of life that I don't like to lose. I want to hold on to this land, to leave it as remembrance for my kids. My grandfather's buried here, and all my people. That's really why that I hate to see my woodland destroyed. Strip mining is the cheap way of the operator getting the coal, cutting the whole top of the mountain off, picking the coal up, and not have to go in underground to get it. Take the coal out at a cheap cost and get rich quick. So when the hillside's left, it's left barren and no place for a tree to grow. The first rain that comes, a slide will start. It will start them rocks, mud, and dead trees, logs, and everything in front of it. There's danger in the whole town. It has happened. The whole town gets covered up. Whole road gets blocked. Whole rivers dammed up. There's no way that I see to stop it. It's a barren land left, worthless, for a man to pay taxes on.
They admit damage, but what in the hell are we going to do about it? They won't fix it, and we can't make them. I don't guess.
Have you taken it to a lawyer or thought of taking it to a lawyer?
A lawyer? Most of them are all tied up with the coal companies. If they're not with the coal company, they're with the insurance company. So what in the hell are you going to do? There's nothing you can do, I don't guess.
The first thing we can do is talk about the problem. We've planned a meeting down at the church for Friday night. Why don't you come, and you can talk with other people here in the holler who have had some of the same things happen to their houses and their neighbors.
Well, I've got a broken back from coal mining. I got crippled up and can't work.
But it seems that that's all the more reason why you would want to do something about it and to make the coal company put it right with you.
I think the one thing that hinders him up here is that most of the working men in the neighborhood are working at the mines. A lot of them at strip mines and all, and they're afraid that they'll do something that will interfere with their jobs and they'll be fired.
So the coal companies did it to you in the mines, and you're going to let them do it to you in your own home, too? Now, can we ruin your back, but let them ruin your house?
Do you think something like that could be done here in West Virginia? I don't see nobody stand together no more. They're not like old-time people. It used to be so you have log rolls. Man's house burned up, his neighbor would gather up and help him fix his back. I don't see it no more.
Well, that's what we were hoping maybe this time. If you and your neighbors got together and you went down to talk to the legislators and remind them that you vote for them and that they owe you something as well as the strip miners, maybe they might pass a law.
How do you expect to change the law? And the only time you see a lawmaker is just before election when he runs in with his hand stuck out, I want your vote. He ain't giving a damn what he happened to me after he gets his vote.
Well, you know, there are laws about this kind of thing.
Yes, but how's a poor man going to get that law? I can't fight a big coal company. He's got too much money. And he don't care if he does cover me. If he can get his handful of money, what's he care about me?
Just a few months ago, there was crawfish here, The little boy I've got, he caught crawfish maybe 30 or 40 right here where we are standing at. And now there's not a minnow, there's not a living thing, any sure creek, whatever.
Well, I know that you've been hit as hard as anybody else, and I thought if all those people who've been damaged by it got together and talked about the problem, maybe something could be done.
You go ahead and...
If there was a meeting Friday night down at the church, you think you could come?
Well, I'm doubting it right at the present time.
Well, I know you're one of the people who's most concerned about this. You could help get some other people together and we could at least talk about the problem.
Well, maybe I'll not be here for Friday night, but maybe they can get together and see what they can do, and a little later on, possibly.
Well, we got up that morning, the water bursting down the floor, and went out to down below the house, and it's mud and water and rocks and chunks and everything all over the yard, and the fence all washed out and everything, big pile of rocks right in the back door, and then the water washed up to the back door where that little cripple girl was in the house. All the children was in the house, and I got out and went over to Elsa's, and when that man went in over there, the man was running a strip job up here. And I tried to talk to him about it, and he looked at me and laughed at me.
Did you ask him whether he'd fix the damage?
I asked him, would he go over there and look what the water had done? Would he go over and clean the mess up it had made in my backyard? All the rocks in the creek was laying right in my yard, and he just looked at me and laughed at me. He wouldn't even speak back to me.
Well, Gracie, what happened down at your place the other day when the man come down and was talking to you?
He came, and he said it was an act of God. Said God knows how to deal with his people, doesn't he?
Did you agree with him that it was an act of God?
No, I said that God didn't pile all this coal and brush and stuff to be washed down here on us.
What did he say? What did he tell you when you asked him if God put that stuff over on your field?
He said it was an act of God.
Yes, that's the way it is. It's an act of God, old man.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
If you say something about wanting to tear your place up, that is an act of God. That's not their fault. That's God's fault. This stuff washed it down. That's just kind of a stripper we've got. He wants the money in his pocket full, a bank full, and then say it's called by God. I don't think God Almighty would want to harm a poor person.
Now, what else?
Can you give me some of this here Prince Albert and that plastic?
Yes.
Well, now say we can come around and get me a
Carton out of it?
Yeah.
I understand there's a bunch of you fellas going to Charleston on the seat of legislature for strip mine business.
Yeah, we've been down.
You think it's going to do you any good?
What ain't gonna hurt us, damn better know.
I don't see where it's going to do you any good. It's just causing a lot of trouble.
You got them small hands-off files.
Yes. And what else?
I think you people where it's strip mine about and just tell your land out to the coal company and move on out.
Listen, I was born and raised on that place.
New modern life has come up. You don't understand that. If you get out in the strip mining business, something or other, get around through the country, you may know what's going on. But stay up in them hollers, you never know. Down before you know how to get
Turn
across
a damn
now.
man like you loose, you'd tear
Oh,
up our graveyard.
hell, we ain't gonna tear up your graveyard. We'll fix them back when the machine runs over.
I don't see how you gonna put a man back in his box and put him in the ground.
We ain't gonna dig him out. Ain't no coal down there nowhere where they'll be buried. Ain't nowhere back on the
You may
mountain.
not dig him up, but you'll cover him up so deep he'll
No, you-
never be got at.
You don't need him to get him up, do you? What are you talking about?
Well,
You're crazy.
you just wait till you see what happens.
You think we're going to move our machinery around that holler on account of you and the community action? No, sir, I never haven't. Get
But
that.
you think you're gonna move me out, bud?
Well, we ain't trying to move you out. We tried to buy you out. And you won't sell. You want to come up, stay up in there to cause trouble. We offered you jobs. How many of we offered jobs and you won't work? No, I got my little farm to take care of.
I'd
That's all
like to
we
know
care.
who asked for that.
My little farm, that's all you study about. You don't study nothing about nothing else. You don't study nothing about your neighbors. My little farm, that's all.
That little farm gonna be there when the stripper is gone.
Yes, sir, we're going to strip it.
You just listen to
Oh, yes, we're listening. We're listening. Go ahead.
You just listen to what the poor man has to say about it before you take over, will you?
When you and the community action gets through, we're still going to be stripping coal. Understand that, buddy? Get on back out. We're trying to make a living here. Are you all drawing checks and everything else? We're trying to make a living. Get on back out. Where you going? What are they doing?
Let us pray. The earth is the void, and the fullness thereof, the world, and that dwelleth therein. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, even lift them up, ye everlasting door, and the kingdom of glory shall come in. Who is the King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
We have a guest at our meeting tonight. Tracy Hilton is our representative in the state senate and also a strip miner himself. I first heard about him in an article published in the magazine that the Department of Natural Resources put out, in which they were talking about him and the work he's done in his strip mining in reclaiming the land after he's mined it. Senator Hilton?
Thank you, Dave. Dave has called and asked if I would be here tonight, and I accepted his invitation to speak to you on the subject related to your problems in Pine Knob. I went to the job that he was speaking about, and I could see that you had legitimate claims for the damage that had been done to your property. As Dave told you, I recently became a stripper in 1964. With the short experience I had, I could see the problems that was multiplying in the state of West Virginia by irresponsible strippers. And if this continued, then the state of West Virginia would be destructed to a stage that would be unrealistic to the benefits received from surface mining. Now, you people probably would ask me more questions and be more informed by the answering method than I can stand here all night and talk to you. So at this time, I'll open this up to discussions.
But I've been wondering about the association or the relationship between the strip mining operations and the coal operators.
Well, there's two kinds of operators and there are two kinds of people probably. There's good and bad. There's good people and there's bad people, and there's good strippers and there's bad strippers. I'd say at this present time there's more bad strippers than there are good strippers.
Senator Hilton, I don't understand. Could you explain to me what a good stripper is?
Well, if there is such thing as a good stripper, let's put it this way. I know that as you people here tonight, well, you probably think there isn't a good stripper. But I'd like to think that I am a good stripper for my past results that I've had in my small tenature as a stripper. And this is the way I'd answer this. I don't think that anybody can deface the earth and ever put it back into the original condition.
Senator Hilton, with the law that's in effect today, what is a strip miner required to do?
Secure a permit, which he pays $10, I think, is a permit fee, but it has no stipulations on it. It just says cover the ground with sufficient earth, and it doesn't tell you how to backfill. The present law doesn't give you much instructions.
My name is Thurston Hairston. Because of the dangers that exist close around our homes, because of strip mining, some rock has already rolled down and tore down one house completely, demolished the house, and it's more danger still exists. And the people is dissatisfied and they're in fear of living where they are. This danger that exists in this community where I'm speaking of, a lawsuit wouldn't save the lives of the people below the danger. I'd like to know what could we do, or what could be done to prevent any danger from below where the strip mining is being done.
I'd answer that question by supporting a new law that would spell out the specifics as to what would take place in a case like this. And without this, you would still have to go to a court of law.
Like I said a while ago, this company have moved out and gone. It's nothing there but just the danger. We want some means of protecting us against this danger that exists there without a company being involved, because there's no company there to be involved now. They're moved out.
Well, under the present law, you've got the $100 bond, but it hasn't been enforced to any potentials. But under the, if we establish a new law, this is one area that needs to be strengthened, and a sufficient amount of bond be applicable to the situation, which would allow you to collect damages from your immediate problem.
I'm not clear on the answer that you give me on that. The $100 bond, that wouldn't cover the damage of, say, the destruction of a home. A $100 bond wouldn't cover
No, that would not, but the liability insurance would.
Liability insurance would.
Have anyone ever...
Sir?
Have anyone ever won a claim from these strip miners?
I'm sure they have. No, the railroads...
I meant poor people, not the big people.
Well, I don't know of any particular cases, but I've heard of claims that's been paid, but I can't recall any specific cases.
We're supposed to have a strip mining law, but I'm finding out by the senator tonight that we haven't got no law. How are we going to get a law? We're going to have to get together, organize a group, and go down and tell the legislature what we want, and we mean to have it.
Could our group make recommendations to the legislature for things we see that should be in the new bill?
I think your group and any other group should have this right. Without your presence and without your demands being known, there is very little that a legislator knows to do.
Senator Hilton, I know you have a long drive home, and so we'll let you go. We certainly appreciate your being here tonight.
Well, thank you, Dave. It's been a pleasure.
Mr. Hilton sounded very well what time he was talking, but he didn't give us nothing going, only one thing that I got out of him. I think the man meant to tell us something, but he just couldn't tell us nothing on account he was a stripper himself.
But how the poor class is going down to Charleston and do something with a rich man, I ain't got it pictured out in my mind yet.
You still don't think they're going to listen to you?
I don't know how that we're going to go at it. How a poor man is going to handle a rich man.
Well,
he's got his lawyer there. We ain't got no lawyer. He's got 4 or 5 lawyers. Step out the telephone and call one. Are we going to do that?
No. No.
We won't have no lawyers down there, but we still got to remember that we are the part of the people who elect these senators and these people to the House of Delegates, so they've got to listen to us just a little bit.
This hearing today, this is giving the people a chance to speak out. Well, if they have two situations, they have people speaking against the bill, people to speak for the bill. Well, if there's nobody there to speak for it, the senators are going to think, well, everybody's against it.
Well, I wish the senator, when we talk to him, would have given us a little more pointers on this, just how to go at it.
He
now,
told
he
us.
could tell us how good he was and what a good man he was, but he wouldn't tell us nothing we should do.
Yes, he did. He told
He
us.
left us up to do what we got to write.
He told us to go down there and talk to those people and to come to them hearing. He told us that we had
He
to...
never told us anything no to say, did he?
Well, no, he didn't tell us what
No,
to say.
he doesn't have to put words. He didn't come up there to start off with. He didn't come to our meeting to put words in our mouth. He told us what we could do. And he did suggest, though, that if we wanted a law passed, the place for us to go was down where they made the law and not stay up on Clear Creek.
But still, there's just this certain reservation, you know, just like I was reluctant to come down here on this trip because I just don't think that the senators will even see Thurston and I. Do you, Thurston?
Well, I thought that way myself, because I've never faced them before, not to just have a general discussion with them. But when we went to Washington that time, that convinced me that I could talk with them, and some of them would hear me and some wouldn't. And it's the same way in just general life. I'm going to be able to talk with some people, and some people are not going to want to talk with me. that don't approve of it.
What are you saying, Thurston?
I'm saying that there's some good and bad on both sides. We have just as bad in the Negro race as there is in white, and we have really some bad in the white. So there's good and bad on both sides.
Well, I think that's just an excuse. You know, every time you turn around, you know, people say, well, we got bad people in this race, and we got bad people in that race, and we got bad people in the other race. And this doesn't say anything. This is a void statement. So what the hell are you saying? You're not saying anything about, you know, the meaning of blacks and whites working together.
Clarendon, I tried to get my neighbors that have had mud up to their doorways in their yard. I tried to get them to come down here with us today to tell what kind of damages had been done. Well, I live in a company house. I'm afraid to go. The company might find out my husband's down there. They wouldn't even consider coming down here with us, even though they're concerned and they're willing for somebody else to go. But they won't come out and do for themselves.
But the white man has never been reluctant to use a white man to his own advantage. He did it for thousands of years. Now, the black man came along and had an opportunity to use him, and he used him.
I think you got your history backwards. Because if the white man ever used the white man that was being used was probably just too stupid to protect himself otherwise.
Well,
But the black man, he had no defense. Yeah, he come here as a slave. He come here in chains. He didn't want to come here. He come here and robbed him of his culture, robbed him of his pride. I said that to the time that I was about 13 years old, I thought to be white, you would be a special person because you had privileges that you couldn't do because you were black, and that you had to go to a segregated school. And I'll tell you one thing, I've had to leave school in the daytime because it was so cold, and we would have to go back home while the white kids were sitting about 600 yards away with steam heat and bathrooms. And I resent this until today because I didn't think about it at the time. But in our school books in school, it had a stamp in there that said, for use in Negro schools. And I went, what difference were the books in our schools than the books that there was in the in the white school? Or were those white children getting a better education than I was? I can remember passing by the white school and hear the piano playing inside and the children singing. We didn't have a piano.
I think I know what you mean. But...
See, and then my mother had to go in the white man's kitchen and cook him something to eat and tend to his damn brats and let me go. She had to take her kids, his kids, to the doctor and hold their hand while the doctor patted them over. And I needed to see a doctor too.
Well, Martha...
And I had to wait until she come home to bring me some food from his damn table. And you mean tell me I'm supposed to love him and trust him? You think he's some kind of great white father? You know, I'm supposed to bow down, you know. You know, not Martha.
Well, in your association now with people from Marshport District, do you still feel the same way about it?
Well, no, I don't, because I realize that they are poor people just like I am. I realize that they have been taken advantage of, just like I have. Now, you take Ellis Bailey. The strip miners, it didn't matter to him, to the strip miners, that Ellis was a white man. He destroyed his property just as if he would have mine. And I see this now that the black man and the white man has got to get together, and particularly the poor black and white man.
I just hope they don't laugh at us.
Well, let them laugh. We're still here to get something done. Let them laugh.
Well, we won't get nothing done.
No. I believe we will.
No. We've been trying for between 40 and 50 years. We haven't got nothing yet. Why get something now?
Oh, no. We stick together. We'll get it.
Well, we'll stay here till we do get it.
That's right. We'll stay right here and come back again.
Okay. Good. That sounds good.
I wish I'd have stayed at home.
Why?
I think it's an uncalled for trip. They'll never listen.
We're speaking for a lot of people nowadays.
Yeah, but they've got the money and we ain't.
They'll laugh at us, make fun of us.
Yeah, but if we have to come back next week, we'll bring more. We'll get it. Don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt it.
Okay.
We don't stick together, we can't get nothing done. But if we stick together, we can.
That's right. Well, that's right.
Remember, all of us together.
I doubt it. I'm having my doubts.
Well, I want to see you just any of them that won't laugh at me.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'll just talk to any of them. I don't care who I talk to.
Well, I hope that I can come out feeling better than I do going in.
To appear before your committee today.
Well, good. We need you.
This is Senator Paul Kaufman. His committee is the committee that's going to be reviewing the bill, and he'll be fighting to get a strong strip mine bill on the floor of the Senate.
Nice to see you. Good to see you. We need you here.
Thank you.
We can use your support. I think we've got a pretty good bill going in, which you've read, I know, but it needs to be improved. And some of the points in it, some of the sections which they're trying to get out, that they're trying to strike out, well, maybe you can help us keep it in. That's Section 10. You know, you're familiar with Section 10, which would give the Director of Natural Resources the power to stop strip mining when it was doing a lot of damage, as it does in places where you come from. Yes, sir.
The other members of your colleagues, do you think they're sympathetic with us on what we're trying to do? Or do you say they are?
I think that you've got enough of them who feel strongly about this, that this bill can be passed. And I think there are many of them that are on the fence. And I think if you go in there and let them know the conditions under which you're forced to live and the things that you're forced to witness every day with the destruction of these beautiful hills of ours, I think they're going to listen to you, and I think what you say will be effective.
Back home, or where I've lived all my life, my people's buried there. There's going to be a strip around this graveyard. Do you think this should be brought up?
Oh, I think so, and I think the provision, the Section 10 that we talked about, which gives the Director of Natural Resources the absolute authority to stop an ongoing strip mining operation, that they won't create landslides and rock slides and do all the other damage that you know so well. Senator, how are you?
Hi, Senator.
Good to see you, Senator.
Hi, you folks from Pine Knob. It seems like I spent a little time with you last week. It's good to have you down here. Paul, our committee meeting is about to take over, and we'd like to have you in the committee at this time to start on this bill on service mine.
The committee hearing will come to order. This is a hearing on Senate Bill 61, the strip mine bill.
I bet they're politicking just like we were.
I bet just a strip miner
I just talked to the Senate clerk, and he said if you want people to speak, we've got to give them the names and the approximate time that they're going to speak, and we've got to do that right away.
My God, I didn't come down here to speak. What about y'all? Who's going to speak?
I don't know.
No. Somebody's going to have to speak.
There's not much time.
How about Clarendon?
Well, I didn't come prepared.
I think you're the man. You've been in the Army, and I bet you talked to your commanding officer many times. Keep him getting in the stockade. I talk yourself out of the stockade, he can talk up here.
That's right.
I didn't come down here prepared to do this. I came down here to maybe speak to one or two of the senators or somebody in the House of Delegates. But
have you ever had to tell your commanding officer what the old boy done?
Oh, yeah. Many a time, but this is...
I think you can get up and tell him here.
Well, being as I instigated part of it, I guess I'll have to do my part. I'll do what I can.
We're going to need more than one.
I'll do what.
The coal companies are going to have every paid lobbyist they have testifying. We're going to need 3 or 4 people to talk.
Why not item A? she's a good talker, and she's a school teacher, and she can, I can't talk for nothing. So what about...
We should have prepared for this a little better before we came down here. We should have decided, we should have known someone was going to have to speak and should have decided on somebody before we came so we could have prepared something. I'm not prepared to speak. I've not made any preparations at all.
You have got the best voice. You're a school teacher. You can put your words together better than the rest of us can because you've had to do it in school and we ain't.
But listen, Ellis, just because I'm willing to go in there and speak, remember this, I haven't had any property damage at all. Now, I'll go in there and talk and tell what damage has been done in my holler, but you've been damaged. And you can tell them about actual damage. So I think if I go in and speak, that you ought to go in also.
That's right. That's right, Ellis. Why, I've not even got my teeth.
That doesn't matter.
Hey, you can talk.
You can talk anyhow.
You can talk.
No.
Hey, Ellis.
Go
ahead. You said you was going to follow me, so if you go follow me, I'm going in there and talk. You can go in there and talk also.
Yes, sir. Right. More than any man among us, and you've had more property damage than any man among us. Now, if you can't get up there and defend your rights before these people, how do you expect to iron a man Clarendon who doesn't have any property damage whatsoever?
I've not been to all these schools, teach schools. I can't get my words together.
It doesn't matter at all.
You done a good job talking to me a while ago.
Well, listen, Ellis. If you'll go ahead and tell Dick to put your name on the roster up there, I'll help you write down some things that you want to say before we have to go in there so that you'll know what to say. And you can speak as well as any of us if you'll just tell them what's been done. Would you do that?
I do with somebody here that would be better for that than me.
You can do it, Ellis.
You can do it, Ellis. You can do it, Ellis. You can do that. Can't you do that? Come on, I'll sit down.
Do they have to have another?
That's right. There has to be another.
You're the man.
At least 3 of us. You know.
Well, you just don't have to write out now.
Well, I will, but now listen, when you get in the Senate, you just remember this, that you've got to walk up there and speak in front of those men, and you just start forward and don't back up, and you'll be just fine.
You know, I ain't got my teeth.
Oh, Ellis, nobody will know that you don't have your teeth.
When I open my mouth, they're going to see it.
Yes, but listen, those senators won't know that you don't have teeth with you. A lot of people forget their teeth when they go out someplace and they're not expecting to speak. So don't you worry about your teeth. Just remember this, that some of those people have false teeth too, and they leave them at home occasionally too. And don't worry about your teeth, all right? Let's just get prepared.
Can they do anything with me over talking about something that I shouldn't talk about?
Listen, as long as you talk about your damage from a strip mine, as long as you keep it within the bill, you'll be in order. They'll listen to you.
Are you writing me out now what I've got to say in there? I'll get up on my knees, get a knock, and I ain't going to say nothing.
Well, I'll write down some notes for you, and then you just look down at this.
You better put it on there.
All right.
I'm afraid I'm going to forget everything.
Oh, you won't forget. When you get started telling them, why, then you'll remember everything. When you get talking, you'll be okay.
Oh, they're going to know that I ain't got no education in there. They don't know that I don't know how to put my words together.
No. They won't know that you don't have an education when you stand up and walk down that aisle. They won't. There's nothing about you that would say you don't have an education. Just hold your head up high, walk in there like you own the place, and tell them what you've got to say.
I can try it.
All right.
If I don't get weak-kneed.
You won't get weak-kneed.
I've never done nothing like this.
Well, this won't be any worse than getting married or something like that. You didn't get chickened out when you got married, did you?
How come them nuts?
Well, this won't be that bad, okay?
I can't put my words together like you can.
Words that come from your own understanding are just as good as any that's prepared beforehand. Your speech will be good because it comes from your heart, and they'll listen to you when you get ready to speak.
Is that, you think, what counts, what'll come from the heart?
That's right. Your speech will be more important than anybody else that's going to speak. We walk down those steps out there.
When I see them big senators and stuff, I'm going to feel awful small.
Our next speaker is Mr. Ellis Bailey. Thank you, Mr. Bailey.
Well, my name is Ellis Bailey. I was selected by a group of the strippers been damaged of Clerk Fork in Raleigh County. I'm not an educated man, don't know how to speak much, but I'm here to state the facts of what's happening in Raleigh County of West Virginia. I've been had by the strippers. I have 65 acres of land. This land is almost washed away. The pond's washed full of water, my cattle know where to drink. Well, it seems like I'm going to have to sell the cattle at a great loss. The fences I'll never be able, as old as I am and broke down, to fix back. So I'm at an awful loss to the stripper, and it don't seem like I've got it much of a stick. Our roads is run in the area, our culverts is filled up, our creek beds is filled up, our wildlife, our fish. It's impossible to go a-fishing and catch any fish in our area. If I get to go a-fishing, I have to leave our county, which I don't get to fish much more. I don't have the money to take these trips. I don't get to enjoy life like I used to enjoy life. And the very thing that's brought us all of us in the area is the stripper. He has damaged our water, our land, our forest. To a poor man has not got the right that he has had. Every man should have his own right, but the poor man's rights is being destroyed right today. And the strip mine has done more to destroy the poor class of people than anything that's ever hit our area.
You have a right to be there, and you'd better be there. And I think I could just best put it this way. Just look at that flag up there. Most of you have had sons, some of you have had sons that have died for that flag. You've had relatives that have died for it. Now, the flag is not just for dying, it's also for living. And you're not going to live if a mountain comes sliding down on top of your house. You're going to live by doing what that flag has always stood for, being a part of making the laws that affect you. And you get down there to the legislature and take enough of you that they'll know it's just not 2 or 3 cranks, it's a whole lot of hard-working, decent human beings that need some help from their legislature, which they brought into being.
Water through my father's house. It struck me in under my armpits. In fact, the water was so deep and so swift that a 17-foot deep freeze filled with food. I was in the living room stacking stuff as high as I could stack it to save it, and a deep freeze floated through and struck me in the back, and that came out of the kitchen. And strip mining and deep mining, irresponsible operators was the cause of it. That's all I can say. This is one of the same pictures that you saw before. And that car's still sitting there today, too. Have you saw it? This boy here said he had saw it.
Mr. Bailey, in the past there have not been many unpaid lobbyists coming to the state capitol. Why all of a sudden has a citizens group on its own come down to lobby for this strip mining act?
Well, I think it was drove on to us. There wasn't nobody trying to protect us. I don't know nothing about lobbying. Tell you the truth, I've not been in this building but just a few times.
I understand you both spoke before the Senate this morning. Were they receptive to your speeches?
We don't know. We hope so. We just don't know.
This is reseeding. Now, this is where they're doing something about it. They do this reseeding by helicopter, especially on these steep slopes. This is one where it's been reseeded. These are the things that can be done. This shows a good one, and you see it can be reseeded. You can never put it back to like it originally was. We know that. This can never be put back like God put it to start off with.
Were you a coal miner, sir?
I worked 46 years in the coal mine. Old enough now to retire. I can't get no pension. I've got black lung or silicosis. I don't get that. I'm just a broke-down miner now with a little $94 Social Security check to live on and send my kids to school.
Well, does it seem then that the thing that once made your living has now ruined your life?
Yes, their old mining days is over with. I never had anything wrong in 42. I passed the examination to go to the United States Army. Nothing wrong with my lung. But this mechanical work of grinding the coal dust up so it'll go down your throat, these big cables afar that you inhale in 7 years has just about killed me. I've not got many years to live now.
The time is 2:30. WWNR, Beckley, West Virginia. WWNR, award-winning contemporary news. And this is Phil Vogel reporting. In the state legislature today, the proposed strip mining bill, following many weeks of public and private debate, now faces its final test. After being passed unanimously by the state Senate, the bill has emerged after weeks of silence from the House Judiciary Committee in watered-down condition. At this moment, debate is raging on the floor of the House of Delegates to determine whether the bill will remain in its strong Senate-passed form. It's reported that many persons who had planned to come to the Capitol in support of the bill are literally trapped in their homes due to impassable roads. A final vote, which will determine the fate of the bill, is expected tonight or tomorrow. On the weather front, continuing rain is predicted, according to the U.S. Weather Bureau at the airport, and precipitation may continue throughout the weekend.
I just tell you now, if this bill ain't got through, I think I'll get away from here.
Well, Ellis, sometimes we win a few things and sometimes we lose them, but there's a lot of other stuff going on that we've been working on.
Yes, we've not got the right schooling for kids here. It's just a bad place to live all the way around.
Oh, I don't know about that. We've made a lot of improvements. Sent away for those trees. Neighborhood Youth Corps boys will be planting them next month.
Yeah, you and old Phil's worked himself to death. And that might do him some good. He might live, see them tree grow. My other kids might live and see them. See, nothing like that don't do me no good.
Well, you're doing all this for your children.
That's all I'm working for right now, my kids. None of it's gonna do me no good. I'd like to be somewhere where I could fish, somewhere like Williamsburg River. I think I'll go down and get me a house and get it right close to the river, so if I want to fish, I can get me some worms, go down there to the creek. I've seen fish in there that big.
Well, Ellis, we've got the same problems all over West Virginia. Just moving down to the river's not going to change school problems. It's not going to change health problems, all the other things we've been working on.
I thought after I worked my time out in the mine that I would have a little enjoyment out of life. But where am I going to get it? With a man up above me here with a shovel, shoveling the dirt down on me? No way to stop him. No got no law for it.
Well, if we don't get a law this time, maybe the next time. Things are changing in West Virginia.
They'll be the same bunch right there for the next 4 years.
No, I don't think so, Ellis. I think people this time will be disappointed and they might do something about their elected representatives.
Well, you know, I had a lot of hope in the bunch we've elected now. If they ain't gonna do nothing first, I don't think the others will. Who moved last?
I did. It's your move.
Well, it's a problem any way we go here. Right when a man works his most and he thinks that he's kinda got it made and he's gonna have life easy. Right here it is, he's just good, he's set out in the road, nothing we can do.
Well, you must remember, Ellis, life's never easy. It's never easy for a poor man. He's always got his problems.
I believe you done the wrong thing, old gal.
If you can win like that in checkers, you can win at other things, too.
That's right, Naomi. A good checker player.
Well, I will give you one here.
You're very generous, Ellis.
Well, I'll just tell you, I'm disappointed in my life in a way. That when I thought I was going to get eased down on life, I'm just getting it harder and harder.
This is Capital News Central, WCHS Television News, the largest television news gathering force in the tri-state area. And now, Bill Richards.
Good evening. This is Frank Annan substituting for Bill Richards. The House of Delegates defeated attempts today to soften a bill which would establish hard regulations against strip mining in West Virginia.
Daggone, boys. What do you know about that?
Refused to accept changes in the proposed law. They went against the recommendation of their own committee of lawyers and the example of their leaders.
He's hearing the voice of the
people. Their opponents in disarray, they passed a strip mining bill in a form sought by conservationists by a vote of 98-1.
What do you think?
Hey, how do you
Joe, I know it was
All that work was
never dreamed of it ever happening.
Not but I told Ellis before I was a boy.
Some was real good.
Our work wasn't for enough.
That tickled me all over, man.
How about that, Rollins?
that
You've
was
been
fine.
quarreling all the way through, ain't you?
I had a doubt, but we got it, boy.
Ellis Bailey's been a doubting too, ain't he?
Yeah.
He's not a doubter anymore.
I'm satisfied, I'm satisfied.
Swing him, Bill. Swing him.
I would like awful well to live back the way these mountains was when I was 15 years old. I'd like to live that part over again, where there'd never been no mountain moved. That was a part of life that I liked.